Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we've got some more Warhammer 3 news today. Yesterday we spoke about Kateryne's faction effects and today we're going to follow up with some more Kislev as we look towards Kostaltyn. Again, Creative Assembly released this on their Total War Discord, but I know everyone's not in that, so we're going to check it out. They're calling this unique faction effects as always, but really it's just faction effects and lord effects. But let's not waste any more time and check out if he could really preach the Bible like a preacher, and if he was also the type of teacher that women would desire. Sorry, Boney M quote. But let's go. We'll start off with the faction effects first. Diplomatic relations -40 with the faction of the Ice Court. Interesting, that's a very big debuff with Kateryne, especially since Kislev isn't that big. It's also rather curious that Kateryne doesn't have something against him either, but it makes sense as we know in the lore that he's kinda against her, especially since I'm imagining that the Ice Wizards themselves are following an older faith. Next we have Devotion generated 10 from successful Patriarch hero actions. This is just like Kateryne but with a Patriarch. Still, remember that any values might change by the time we get closer to release, but it's decent enough, especially since if Kateryne's going to be getting 10, you want to be able to rival that. Next we have Ward Save 20% for Embedded Patriarchs, so since it's in the faction effects, this means that it's going to be for every army, and yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The Patriarchs themselves are supposed to be quite tanky as far as I'm aware. Next is melee attack +5 for Corsairs, Kosovo Dervishes, and Horse Archer units. Again, pretty simple, and they're mostly early tier units, so I'm guessing very early on you're going to have an easy move to expand, especially when you look at the last bonus, which is Leadership +5 for Corsairs, Kosovo Dervishes, and Horse Archer units. This is for faction-wide, by the way, so it's pretty good. I'd say that you are going to be able to move around quite quickly, especially with some bonuses like that. Though I'd like to know more or less how long campaign-wise on average that we'll keep those units as being quite useful. We're going to have to wait and see, obviously, until proper gameplay comes out, but we'll go from there. But that's pretty much everything in terms of faction effects. Let's move towards the lord effects now. There's only two. Wound recovery time -2 for Kostaltyn, which kind of makes sense as any established lore that we've had so far. Keep in mind that this is a new character in the lore. Has been established that he does not want to die. He's very upfront in battle and so on. So having him come back when he's defeated in a much quicker time makes a lot of sense. And lastly, we have passive ability Frenzy for Lord's Army. The whole army is going to have Frenzy, which is pretty good. We're not sure just yet, I think at the very least, that Frenzy has changed or not, but it has changed from Warhammer 1 to Warhammer 2, and if we look at the current version of Frenzy, that of Warhammer 2, it's quite strong. It's a constant augment that is only disabled if the unit itself is lower than 50% leadership. And the effects themselves are armor-piercing weapon damage increase, base weapon damage increase, charge bonus increase, immune to psychology, and some melee attack bonuses. So if it stays the same, which it's likely to stay the same or maybe receive some alterations, that will be pretty decent. Other than that, that's pretty much everything. I do have a question though, maybe it's because it's been so long since we've seen any Kislev news, but apparently he's the Supreme Patriarch of the Ursinite Faith. I thought he was going to be like a Supreme Patriarch of all the faiths together, which is why it's the Great Orthodoxy. It's a bit strange, maybe they'll clarify that in a post at one point, but let me know what you guys think in regards to the faction effects and the lord effects of course, and let's start a conversation in the comments below. Have a great day guys.